Are you ready to double your real estate sales and grow your business like never before? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Real Estate Matters, hosted by Matt Curtis, leader of the #1 real estate team in Alabama for the last 6 years. With over 8,000 homes sold and more than 4,000 five-star reviews, Matt's proven strategies speak for themselves. Ready to double your sales with expert strategies? Let's dive in. This is Real Estate Matters. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Matters podcast. I'm your host, Clark Dunn, here with Matt Curtis and Matt Curtis Real Estate.
Yeah, we're going to talk today about, a lot of times agents might ask me, if you were getting into the business today, what would you do? And for these agents, I think they have it so much better. And here's one of the reasons why is because, this podcast, our team, we've already put in the work, 20 years worth of grinding and hard work and personal development. 8,500 sales, 4,000 five-star reviews. We've already gone through a process and iterations where agents can be so successful day one in this business.
So if an agent's listening and they're wanting to get started, what can they do an hour a day to kind of help move the needle?
That was like the genesis for me in terms of what you see today. I didn't even realize it. I was working for a builder. They brought in a personal development guy. And one of the things that he taught was if you read, study an hour a day in your chosen profession, you can double your income every 2 years. Some study out of a California university. And, it was proven there, but I proved it in my life. And so when I first got started, I wasn't very good. I was an introverted kid with a computer engineering degree, hard work and drive, but I didn't know much. I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know anything about sales. Definitely didn't know anything about leadership. But that hour a day compounded is what got me from where I was then to today. And the agents that are joining us now, like they have it so much better because we are a better team because of that hour a day. And so for an agent, I tell our agents, like we have all these opportunities to train. And they have it made because we can record these trains now. They don't even just have to take notes. They can go back and re-listen because repetition is the mother of all learning. They can go back and listen 3, 4, 5 times. And so it's so easy to get that hour a day in. And it's so easy now to really progress in your career because we have all those trainings and they can go back and they can listen to them. They can listen to past episodes and they can get to a point where they can double their income, sometimes even faster in 2 years.
Yeah, and I think, with the changes in technology and kind of some of the things that you're able to implement in your business, talk a little bit about kind of that focus on speed to lead and kind of that follow-up and maybe some of the new technologies like AI and kind of how that plays a part into everything.
Well, some things never change. And one of those principles that's never changes is speed to lead. I think the one thing that changes about speed to lead is it actually gets shorter. It might have been, 50 years ago, speed of lead might have been if I get back to you in a day. It's not that anymore. It's like the Amazon effect. Do you remember we used to order things online and we'd get them like a couple weeks, month, whatever, and we felt like that was normal. Now my daughter is like, if something is not there within 2 days, it's like, what's wrong? Did the package get lost? What's going on? And so we live in a different world now, and speed to lead. Some agents, they come into the business, they don't realize the urgency of calling the client back as quickly as they can. Or as soon as a client makes an inquiry, calling them back, immediately. Makes all the difference because here's what happens. Like let's say your wife's at home right now and your HVAC just went out. She's calling an HVAC company. They don't answer. I'm pretty sure she's not waiting until tomorrow for the HVAC company to call her back, right? There's more real estate agents than there are HVAC companies. I think there's like 5,000 or so agents in town. Like it's not hard to find another agent to call, and so it's really important to have that speed of lead.
Yeah, and I think the ability to follow up is such a huge thing. Like we've talked about in previous episodes, people don't buy a home every day or every couple of years. I mean, it takes a while, but keeping them on your lead list, being able to have the ability to follow up conversationally in a way that's not, overbearing and not kind of, pushy, but also being able to say like, hey, when the time's right, I'm here for you. With a lot of new technologies, obviously that speed to lead is maybe gotten it's changed, and we've talked a little bit about that. But with new technologies, like AI, there's so much kind of in that conversation of interacting with a client that agents are able to do before they even talk to an actual client. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. AI is a game changer for sure. I think one of the mistakes that some agents are trying to make is actually have AI communicate, like
Mhm.
be the person that or the thing that calls the clients. Terrible idea. But AI is a game changer because it can help you in your conversations with your clients. Role playing is a big thing. We've talked about scripting before. Like, professionals, like professional NBA players, they don't just go out there and, oh, well, let me try this one move. Like they've done it hundreds of times. A real estate professional as well, if you want to go pros in real estate, you're going to practice before as well. And typically what that included was, you got a script, maybe you work with your sales manager or a teammate on the team or a spouse or maybe yourself. And that's good, but it's limited bandwidth. Like there's only so much time you can get with a teammate. Definitely only so much time you can get with a sales manager and your spouse. Your spouse is going to get tired of hearing it after a while. And so that's where AI has gone to another level. It can listen to your calls. It can actually grade your calls. And then it can say, "Hey, you should have done, these 2 things. Would you like to redo that call?" You can go back in and say, "All right, it was a 3-star call. Let me try it again. Let me practice and get it up to 5-star." And that's just something that wasn't available, you know, in my time. And so agents really have no excuses now not to be awesome at their calls. Now they've got to join a team like ours that has that technology to be able to take advantage of it. But that is a game-changing technology for our agents right now.
Yeah. A big part too from the agent's perspective as they're getting started is, having the credibility from the peers, not necessarily from your team, but from the individuals they work with of their success and what it's like to work with them. Talk about focusing on reviews and maybe how agents can ask their clients for reviews and like when's the appropriate time to do that.
Yeah. One of the biggest mistakes agents make is they're too humble in asking for a review. Here's the thing, when an agent provides a client with 5-star service, that client almost feels like they owe that agent. Like there's just this like emotional connection that like they just feel like they need to do something to give back to the agent. And the agent oftentimes doesn't allow the consumer to do that. Like that's just a good relationship. And so anytime you hear the word thank you, that's your trigger. Like, you shouldn't just go up and ask a client for a review. If a client says, "Thank you," "Hey, you are welcome. It's been my pleasure working with you." One of the best ways that my clients say thank you is by giving us a 5-star review because a lot of my clients find me that way. Like you, I'm sure you checked out reviews before you decided to hire me. Do you mind paying it forward by giving me a 5-star review so that the next client that's thinking about using me, they know they'll get the same level of service that you got? And so that's the thing is saying thank you. But then the really good, I mean, that's a good agent. A great agent, what they're doing is like we're on this listing appointment or we're on a buyer appointment and you're interviewing me and I talk about our reviews, like, "Hey, have you looked at our reviews?" "Oh, yeah, that's why I'm talking to you right now." "Well, hey, Clark, let me ask you this. Or when I provide you with 5-star service, when I do or if I ask you like, 'Hey, what's really important to you?' 'Hey, it's really important that you communicate with me every single week.' All right, Clark, when I communicate with you every single week, would you be open to give me a 5-star review?" So plant the seed. Don't ask for it right now, but then wait and like, "Hey, Matt, I just want to thank you. Like, you delivered. You communicated with me every single week. You got my home sold for more than I thought I could sell it for. Thank you." And then you go and you ask for that review.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we've that idea of planting the seed is such an important thing, and it's such a little thing that, can be implemented and can be even practiced, and that's, like, kinda back to that AI. It can be practiced where you can kind of, "Hey, how do I actually, like, plant the seed and not make it feel awkward?" But it goes such a long way when you have that review and you have that credibility.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about, this agents are getting started and they're wanting to sell the homes as quickly as possible. Where should they go and how do you kind of look at going where you can sell the most and being able to be the most successful the quickest?
hmm I think that's one of the biggest things too. Is it's all about like how many homes can you sell, but then ultimately the easiest sales, like the best sales, are relationships. And so for me, I wouldn't want to go and try to rebuild something myself and, maybe make one home sell the first month if I'm lucky and a few the next month or whatever. I want to go where how can I build a huge database of past clients that are going to come back to me, repeat business, referrals. That's really the game. And so for me, if I'm talking to a new agent, you need to go somewhere you can sell a lot of homes. And our agents, they come to our like, sell as many homes as you can next 3 to 5 years. Sell 100 homes, sell 200 homes, sell 300 more homes. And then that airplane's up in the air and it gets a whole lot easier. Like you can still work and continue to work leads and do a lot of business that way, but then a lot of business is just going to come to you. And that's why a lot of our agents stay is they built this huge base and now you got client care helping them follow up. They're following up. You've got support systems so that when you go on vacation, they're doing the closings and listings and everything for you. That's where agents start to make 200, 250, 300, even more than that, thousands of dollars per year, because they've spent the hard work converting the leads. Now it's coming back to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think referrals are such a big thing, especially in real estate. Being able to say you have this infrastructure that we've talked about in previous episodes that has that pool of leads that you're able to build. And if you're able to come in and you have the eagerness and the willingness to learn and train and grow, you can build that up within that 3 to 5 years. And then really, like you said, the airplane's flying, you're good to go. And then referrals almost give you more business than incoming leads, which is a great spot to be in for the real estate agents. I think as we kind of wrap up this conversation, I would love to get your input. As if you were to start your career over and you're kind of giving that advice, I think that 1 hour a day goes such a long way, and that's kind of the starting point that lays the groundwork. Um, is there something that you try to employ into these new agents when you see them, when you meet them, when they come into your office of the best things to do within that hour? Like, hey, if you all you have is an hour a day, you're a new real estate agent, you just joined Matt Curtis Real Estate, what should they do within that first hour?
If I'm a new agent, if a new agent comes to me, asks the question, "Hey, Matt, what would you do?" What's one thing? I would study an hour a day in my chosen profession, real estate. And with that, you're going to be able to double your income every 2 years. You got to consistently do it. Now, the question is, what do you do? Listen to this podcast. You're on our team. We have multiple opportunities to mastermind, come to buyer agent training, listing agent training, all kinds of trainings throughout the week. Re-listen to those. Review your notes. That's part of your hour a day. Um, you know, there's podcasts like this podcast. There's YouTube. There's conferences. We have some of the best agents in town. Take one of them out to lunch. Mentorship. There's so many opportunities to do that 1 hour a day. Now, the one caveat to that hour a day where some people miss out is you don't instantly get more wealthy by being more knowledgeable. Like we have so many PhDs and masters. I was listening to podcasts on the way over here. I was talking about somebody that had a PhD, but they were still in the food pantry line. Um, Knowledge does not equal wealth. Applied knowledge actually is what equals wealth. And so be a doer. And it's like the end of every training, about every training, I'll go through the agents. I'll say, all right, what's one thing you learned today or were reminded of? Sometimes you just need to be reminded that you're going to implement today. You got to be a doer.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you taking the time. I think, real estate agents and getting into the business is such it's become much more common over the last few years. And I think information like this and conversations like this kind of allow these agents that are potentially listening or potential agents that are listening to say, hey, I think I can make that jump. And I think I can join a team, and Matt Curtis Real Estate is the team I want to join. But I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
That's a wrap for this episode of Real Estate Matters, helping you double your sales and build a thriving business. But real success is about impact. That's why Matt's team has built over 140 homes for families in Central America, changing lives beyond real estate. Loved what you heard? Subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a fellow agent. For more expert insights, visit mattcurtisrealestate.com or find us on social media at Matt Curtis Real Estate. See you next time on Real Estate Matters.